Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2023 Disney produced live action remake of the 1989 film The Little Mermaid. This is loosely based on the film, which is loosely based on the book by Hans Christian Andersen. This has a runtime of 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I timed it. It's actually 2 hours and 5 minutes, and then 15 minutes of credits. And I was trying to figure out, I was like, the 89 film is an hour and 25 minutes. How are they adding an extra hour, an extra 55 minutes of film to this story when it's a pretty fast paced story? You have 3 acts. How does this work? So I've never seen the Broadway version, the Broadway live action version, which has some added songs to it. Some of those songs are in the 2019 ABC Live that they did. Wonderful World of Disney Presents, The Little Mermaid Live, exclamation point. Awesome Eric song in that. So Eric has a song in this, but I don't think it's the same song. I don't remember it being the same song as the 19 version, which is based on the Broadway show. So I don't know the differences of the Eric songs, but I love seeing Eric sing his own songs because it's like he's a main character, so it's like cool having his perspective on things. I liked I loved certain things about this, and I hated the beginning of this. The first third of this project was just so slow and agonizing, and it's just like certain scenes we know and love and have been accustomed to, and it's very boom boom boom, right? First third of this film was the same exact scenes, but they were extended. They were boom, boom, boom. As opposed to how it's been given to us back in 89, it was boom, boom, boom. It's been very extenuated. Certain conversations were drawn out, and you're like, oh no, is this the entirety of the film? And I was so aggravated. And then a moment happens, and we're introduced to Eric's mom, and it turns out Eric himself was adopted via a shipwreck, and the queen, who looks nothing like him, had taken him in, and she has treated him as a son, and he has been her son. He has been the prince of this island since, she has declared him as the prince of the islands, that he was found via shipwreck. He is her son, and that's it. Nobody questions it. So the prince of this island has this conversation with his mother, the queen of the island, and it's very much, we were once a royal port and, a very prosperous port, and there's been shipwreck after shipwreck, and the trading has gone down, and the gods of the sea are obviously angry with us for some reason, things, right? And they're having a conversation about the ecological system, not the ecological system, the economic system in regards to this particular island that they're in charge of, that she's in charge of. And he's not allowed to leave the castle anymore and all these things, right? This is after Ariel saves him. And it was a moment where I didn't expect, because we're now talking about the people of this land. We're very accustomed to Atlantica, which I don't think was referenced as Atlantica actually in this project, the home of the Mer people. And we get the whole prequels of the cartoons. We get a lot of backstory in regards to the Disney version of Little Mermaid. And so to throw this now as a multiverse project, obviously, I liked the add-on to the economics of the people, show that people have heart. And then there's other moments where Ariel and Eric have like a long, long scene hanging out in his study, and he's introducing her to this, and she's introducing him to what the conch shell can actually do. The conch shell can make noise. He didn't know that. He's like, oh, I found this giant rock, and it's awesome, and it's so old. And she just picks it up and breaks it. And he's like, no. And it's a geode. And he's like, I had no idea. It's been here for years. I had no idea that it was inside of there. So it's one of those, like, they're teaching each other things without her speaking. And I was like, oh, this is smart, because it's a different way of interacting with each other. You don't need words to interact. How else can you interact? She could still hear. She obviously could still understand him. So how are they going to interact? And he's then going through maps, and he's saying, okay, this is this and that is that. And these are uncharted waters. But obviously she knows what's down there because she's been down there, but he hasn't been down there, nor has he been in that vicinity. So I liked at the ending, after their marriage, they're, going to honeymoon, basically, quote unquote, explore the uncharted waters. Cool throwback to their scene in the study. Certain things were then added with them exploring the town. So it's, in the cartoon, it's very quick. She gets in the carriage, they drive, they eventually get to a lagoon, kiss the girl happens, right? change of Kiss the Girl was very, very well done. I really liked how that was done. I liked that it was Sebastian, Flounder, and Scuttle. That's it. You didn't have the other animals singing and frogs and other things, flamingos. Nobody else is singing. It's just them. And they're using what's around them as the instruments. The bugs are chirping just as they naturally chirp. The bamboo, or the reeds, Sebastian is using as percussion. It's very smart, using surrounding areas, and just the three of them singing. I liked how that whole going through the town scene was bringing about the different people. This is a very Caribbean setting, Caribbean island, Caribbean base, Caribbean people, different multicultural aspects of the Caribbean, because you have different references. Caribbean islands have been started out with the native folk, then the triangle trade came into effect, as well as the slave trade came into effect. So there's various cultures represented within the Caribbean, creating its own Caribbean feel. So it's pretty neat having the different cultures coming together, the different people from different parts of the world in this particular triangle aspect of the Atlantic coming together, shown within this different market. I thought it was very smart. It was very historically smart to show the differences represented in this 1800s time period. Very smart. So then having her explore and saying, oh, this is a hat, and this is a flower, and this is things, like, you didn't get that in the cartoon. You don't get that in the 2019, version either. So I thought it was neat having these certain moments expanded upon for appropriate aspects, versus the beginning third of this was expanded upon for scenes we've already seen before. Didn't really make sense to expand on that. It made sense to expand on the point A to point B stuff in regards to the second third and the third act of the project. So from a story perspective, the first third I didn't like, because the conversations that we've already known and love did not need to be extended. But the certain scenes of the two of them getting to know each other, getting familiarity, Ariel learning what's going on in Eric's kingdom kind of a thing, him learning that he's starting to fall for her. They can teach each other things without words. Very cool. Really liked how that was explained. Really liked how that was brought about. I liked there was 4 additional songs. Lin-Manuel Miranda co-wrote the songs with Alan Menken, who did the original songs for '89. So it's just 4 additional songs to this new version. Eric's song I thought was great. I love the Scuttlebutt song. I thought that was absolutely hysterical. I actually laughed at that. I thought it was very appropriate with that little rapping, telling this story, having Sebastian rap through it, having Scuttle rap through it as well. I thought it was neat. And it was just a matter of, I heard, you're getting married. Congratulations, kid, when it's really Vanessa. But I don't think they actually referenced Vanessa as Vanessa in this. So I might have missed that, but I don't think I heard it. Ursula then turning in. I thought Melissa McCarthy did a great job. McCartney did a great job with the Ursula character. I thought Halle did a great job with the Ariel character. I really liked the addition of Eric's mom. I love that actress who plays the queen. I cannot remember her name, but she's been in a bunch of stuff. But I really liked that there was a lot more land scenes as opposed to a lot more underwater kingdom scenes. We've seen a lot of underwater kingdom scenes, obviously, previously. Under the Sea, I thought was a great scene as well. Visuals were stunning. Jacob Tremblay voicing Flounder was great. It's fun. But we've never really seen his kingdom. So I thought it was neat throwing in his kingdom, because we've never really seen that in a version before. So I liked that. I liked that this was a new, appropriate means of doing this for this particular version. I don't think this should have been 2 hours and 5 minutes long. I think that if the first third of the film was paced as the cartoon is paced, I thought it would have been fine. Cutting out 20 minutes would have been fine. I think if this was an hour, 40 minutes, hour 50 minutes, I think that would have been fine. I don't think it should have been 2 hours and 5 minutes of film plus 15 minutes of credits. But that's just me in regards to how I've been studying story and pacing recently. Everything else was fine. Visuals were fine. Singing, songs were fine. Everything else was fine. I liked the changes. I liked certain changes. Things that I didn't like, aside from the first third, is why Ariel's sisters were named different. They all had different names as opposed to the TV show and the films that we've all known. And if this is a Disney version of the Disney projects already that we've had, why did they change the names? Unless her sisters' names in this film, in the 23 film, are what her sisters' names are in the actual Hans Christian Andersen book. I don't know. I've never read the book. So I don't know what version's names of her sisters is correct. I like the small, quick explanation that her sisters are all of different ethnicities because they're all from different of the seven seas. So I liked that, meaning that they all have different moms, but then eventually they all have the same mom who was killed by humans. They did talk about that. I didn't understand why Ursula and Triton are brother and sister in this when she's clearly an octopin and he's clearly a merman. Don't understand that, unless, again, that's what the actual story is. I don't know. I didn't read the book, so I can't compare. I can only compare to what's given to us in regards to the Disney canon of the cartoon, prequels, sequel, and film. That whole canon, there's a distinct difference between the octopus species and the merman. There was a whole war about that, right? We go into that through the TV series as well. So I don't understand why they're brother and sister in this, but it's just a trivial little blah. One thing that I really liked on how they fixed is if Ariel can sign her name in the original film on the contract, then she could obviously write on pen and paper to Eric, hey, Eric, my voice was stolen from me from a sea witch, blah, blah, blah. It was changed. Ursula changed her lyric in regards to pull a scale from your tail or something like that. A drop of blood is all I need. And that's how the contract was signed. So there were certain things that really make sense in regards to changing, and I liked how it was done. Certain things I didn't like. Majority of this I did like. So I really loved the out of order scenes. I loved the kingdom as a whole scene. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. This was really good. I didn't have much expectations for it because we've been doing a marathon of this for quite some time. We did the film, we did 31 episodes of a TV series. We did the sequel film, we did the prequel film, and then here we are now. We did the live action version, stage production version of the 2019 live production. Then now we have this. So we've done a lot of Little Mermaid, and each thing's obviously a little different, but it's all pretty much the same basis. You know, if somebody wants what they can't have and they dream about a better tomorrow, and what happens when things change, and, you know, will the past be able to coexist with the present for a better tomorrow for the future, all that stuff. And the Queen kind of gives that little speech at the end too in this particular version. This was a very good version. I enjoyed it. Once you plow through the first third, which is just very boring and drawn out, and Eric and the Queen have that conversation and he starts to sing, and all just is wonderful after that. So just get through the first third and then beautiful on through that. It was very surprisingly good. I didn't have many expectations for it. It did supersede my low expectations for it. Very well done. Thus concludes our Little Mermaid marathon. We're going to take a break from marathoning. We're going to do little random things here and there. And then we're going to get into our Texas Chainsaw Marathon. Then we're going to get to our Halloween Michael Myers Marathon. And then leading up, obviously, into spooky season. Things. We got some things to watch. 2023 Little Mermaid. On to the next review. Mahalo.